and opening up.
Praise God. Appreciate the Lord.
Yeah.
Appreciate His goodness.
Yes. Thank you, Lord.
Appreciate His service.
Yes.
God is moving.
Yes, He is.
Amen. Moving for us in ways that a lot of times we don't even realize He's moving. And I thought Sister Kathy was testifying there, or exhorting to us. Sometimes we, Brother Sparks preached on this morning, we like to relay our shortcomings sometimes on our temperament or on our personalities. But we're not to have our personality. We're to have the characteristics of Christ.
Right.
We're Christians. Well, we had a guy that worked down there where we're at. He worked there. Matter of fact, he started working there the year I was born, 71. And he was looking into retirement, and he was needing both his knees replaced. He was having a lot of pain from that. And with the health situations that we have now, a lot of times people wouldn't show up for work. And just like me, he'd get aggravated about it and grumble and complain. And one day I told him, I said, "You're just a grumpy old man." And he said, "Well, I can't help it, you know." And when time went on, he did retire. And he called me one day, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm acting just like you." He said, "You're a grumpy old man." And I thought, we laughed about it. But I thought, are we really shining our light?
Come on.
Are we really doing what God would have us to do? I appreciate the Lord and all that He's doing for us. And we'll turn your Bibles to the book of Psalms, chapter 51. And I preached from these several times. And I thought maybe I would use something else. This is really what I had on my mind for last weekend. And I want to change the direction of the service. But this week I've still had this thought on my heart and on my mind. And Psalms chapter 51. Bear with me, but these little allergies got me a little congested and coughing, but the Lord can help us. He said, "Have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies. Blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sins is ever before me. Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I have shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden parts thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice. Hide thy face from my sins, and blot out my iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and let not thy Holy Spirit, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thy free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors thy way, and sinners shall be converted unto thee." Thank you for standing for the reading of the word. And like I said, I've had this thought on my mind for a couple weeks now. And I thought I might preach it last week, but the Lord changed the direction of the service. And this week, as I began to talk to the Lord about the services this weekend and praying, I still felt directed to go this way. And then as the service has went in the direction it's going, I feel like I'm somewhat on course. But as I began to think about this, and I thought if we go back over to the book of 2 Samuel, around verse 12, we can find that that Nathan the prophet has come to David. And he has given David a story or an illustration of a man that had large flocks. And we know the story. And that he had a visitor come in one day, and when he goes to prepare something, he goes over to the man that only has the one little sheep and the one little lamb. And Nathan told him, he said he loved this lamb as one of his children. It was precious to him. He desired it, and he took care of it. But the man went and took his lamb, and he killed it, and he dressed it, and he fed it to his visitor. And David was quick to anger, and he cast judgment upon this man. And David looks at him and says, "Thou art Nathan the prophet looked at him and said, David, thou art the man."
Right.
David realized very quickly the judgment that he had cast.
Oh, yeah.
And then when Nathan said that it was him, he understood the impact that this had upon upon David. And bear with me. So here, as we're reading this scripture here in Psalms, as David prays for remission of his sins and for sanctification.
That's right.
And I thought David is crying out to God with a broken heart, with a broken spirit.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, he's crying out to him and asking God to have mercy upon him.
Oh, yes. Yes.
How about there's a lot of times that in order to get to where we need to be, sometimes we just need a complete rebuilding, if you would.
That's right.
We need to have a fresh start,
Right.
to start all over again.
Right.
And I thought, a couple weeks ago I had a dream, and sometimes, I'm one of those people I dream about every night probably. A lot of times I don't remember. I might wake up and remember for a few minutes and then it's gone.
Right.
But I had a dream a couple weeks ago, and it was about an old car, that I had probably 20 years ago. And it was the first car that I'd ever got that was wrecked, that I decided I was going to rebuild it. And I rebuilt this car, and it had a lot of faults. And it had a lot of mistakes, Brother David. I was just young, and the car had been hit in the side, and that's probably one of the hardest ones to fix anyway. And so I cut into it, and I replaced all of that and put it together, and it never was right. But it drove, and I drove it for several years. And after that, but in my dream, I had that old car back, and it was nothing of any value, just an old Cutlass Supreme Oldsmobile, but in my dream, I had it back, and I had completely restored this car. And I had it all painted up and looking nice. I mean, I restored the body of it, I guess you would say. And I had it fixed up, and I went and got Sister Kathy, and I brought her out, and I said, "I've got it finished. You need to come and look at it." And she walked up, and there it was, and I had it all shined up and sitting there, and I went in to get it to running, and I turned the key, and all it would do was crank. And it wouldn't start. And I raised the hood, and I never, had those older cars, had that old batten under the hood, and as I raised the hood, Brother David, the batten was all falling off the hood. I looked down, and the wires were all frayed and just in ill repair, and the motor all dirty and greasy and oily, and I'd spent all the time getting it looking good.
Come on.
But it wouldn't run.
Come on.
I didn't have, it was sitting there, but I had nowhere to go with it because I couldn't even get the thing to start. And I began to think about that, and I thought, so many times, when people get disconnected out of the fellowship of God, they try to replace Him with things that cover up the things that they're really needing in their life. And I thought, we live in a society that has mastered the art of covering things up.
Right.
I want when I say that, I'm talking about from the White House all the way down to the marathon out here on the street corner. I thought there people have found a way to cover things up, and I thought it gets in all of us.
if we're not careful. And I thought the one reason that we have so many people today, that you walk around the malls and you go to Walmart and you see all these people that have disfigured themselves. There's a reason for that. They're trying to cover something up. They're longing for a happiness that they cannot find. And I thought, as I began to think about that, thinking about that old car, and I thought I wanted it to look good. And I remember when I first redone it, I wasn't ashamed of it. But you drive down the road and it always had a real bad air leak in the driver's side. That's the side it was hit on. And it finally got to where it was leaking so bad that I had to take it double-sided tape and put it on the inside of the car, have a double gasket there to keep the air from coming in so bad. Just a lot of things, but once the doors were shut and it was driving, everything looked good. And I thought a lot of times we've done the same thing. We've got our doors shut, we're going on about our business, everybody's looking at us thinking everything's just fine. But I thought what we really need to do is having a complete overhaul of the things that we've got within inside of us.
Come on.
How about I believe in look. I don't have no problem with that. I believe if you're homeless, you ought to look homeless.
Yeah.
I was talking to a young guy at work the other day, and he was talking about some things that was that going on, and he's I don't know exactly all that's going on in his life, but he claims to be saved, and I had him working with me, and he began to talk a little bit, and there's a lot of trouble in his life, and I could see I could see the fact that there's something there that I've really not got my finger on. And but he began to talk to me a little bit, and he began to talk about things in the church, and to come to find out he knows more about holiness than I thought he did. And so as he began to talk a little bit, and I just simply began to tell him, one thing he was concerned about. He said, I feel like that I'm not being the witness that I need to be. And I said, well, I called him by his name, and I said, well, the Bible has plainly told us that we need to come out from among the world and be a separate people. And I said, so if we're going to be a separate people, and we're coming out from the world, then we're going to stick out from what the world looks like.
Right.
And I said, so in order to be a witness to a dying and lost world, we've got to be different than that world.
Yeah.
We can't go in with the same look that they got, listening to the same garbage that they're listening to, talking the same talk that they're talking, and expect them to listen to us, tell them about a God that's brought us out of our sin, when we're doing the same things that they're doing. I thought we've got to have a complete overhaul in order to get to where we need to be with God.
That's right.
How about pray for me. I thought in verse 2, David said, wash me thoroughly from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin.
Oh, yes.
And I thought when I looked the word wash up, that word wash goes a whole lot deeper than just simply getting the dirt off. I thought we went to Walmart, not Walmart, but McDonald's Friday. We had Kyle with us, and he walked over, and they had some Santa wipes there, and he got him one. He wiped his hands off, and then he walked over, and he had one of those things you push and get the foam out. He wiped his hands off. There was some lady standing there in the line, and she made a comment about how good he was about cleaning his hands. I knew that he wouldn't worry about the dirt that's on his hands. He just has to fit them. He didn't want to go get, just see what was in there. And I mean, he can't walk past one of those without pushing it. And a lot of times we look at, and I thought, but this word that David talked to the Lord about here, when he said, wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, it went deeper than just a simple cleaning.
Right.
I thought, there's sometimes, these women, there's times that they clean the house every day. There's, if you're going to live in it, you're going to have to clean it every day. But then there's some times that they really clean.
Yeah.
And whenever they really clean, they're going to pull things out.
Right.
They're going to get under the tables. They're going to knock all the cobwebs down.
Right.
They're going to get up the corners and knock the sub tags that's collected up, and they're really giving it a deep cleaning. I thought the other day I decided I was going to clean Sister Kathy's car up, and I'll go pick the trash up, dust out the floor mats, but I decided I was going to clean it up, and I cleaned it up real good, Brother David. Backed it in the driveway, and it didn't drove again till it rained. That's just the way it works. But sometimes we just want to clean them up real good.
Right.
And I thought, but David here, a lot of times I just I get out there and I'll just knock the dirt off of it, get dust up the floor mat. Don't worry about the gravel and the dust that's collected under the floor mat because it still looks good on top. A lot of times that's the way we're doing our lives.
Come on.
We've got these things that nobody's seeing. Don't worry about those. But David here, he said, wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity and cleanse me from my sin.
Yeah.
And I looked that up, and the root word of that, I can't pronounce it. And K-A-B-A-C, kabak, I guess is how you would say that. And it meant to wash by stamping with the feet. Or whether, or you go back to we can read in different parts of the Bible when it talks about the fuller and the fuller's soap. And that tramping out by the feet was to press it in a way to get all of the dirtiness and the impurities out of it.
Right.
And I thought that word, when he said full, and the fuller was a way for them to press and to score cloth into a mill in order to get all of it out and to clean it. And I thought we could read different places where it talks about the fuller soap and the things about it. And I thought that what David was saying here was, I know, Lord, that it's not going to be an easy process.
Come on.
For you to get all of the dirt and the things that has acquired, that has accumulated in my life. But I want you to do whatever is necessary to make me clean.
Yeah.
Go through the process of getting it all out of there. And I thought sometimes that process is not too easy.
Right.
There's sometimes that we go through those things, and a lot of times it's simply a press to get to where we need to be with God. But I thought it's important that we get all the things out of our lives that has got us to the point that's keeping us from getting to where we need to be.
Right.
God. I've said it before, David was a man after God's own heart. But David allowed things to get into his life to separate him from God.
Right.
And I thought, I don't feel like none of us have went to the extent that David has went with his sin. But I thought when we've allowed things to come into our life that's keeping us from getting into the presence of God like we need to, then we need to go to David and ask him to wash us, to clean, go to God and ask him to clean us.
Yes.
And I thought, so David's saying, make me the whitest of whites. Make me the cleanest of clean.
Come on.
Whatever is necessary, clean me up.
Yeah.
And in verse 10, David says, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me.
That's it.
I thought it goes back to what those sparks that Sister Kathy was saying earlier. Renewing the right spirit within me.
Yes.
And I thought sometimes it's easy for us just to get an old bad spirit. Sometimes, Brother David, it's easy for us just turn into a grumpy old man. I thought whenever we've worked all day and we come home, we don't feel good. And like Sister Kathy said the other day, I came home sometimes you just have those days at work, and I was tired, and I walked in, and David, Colin meets me at the car when I get home from work. He knows what about time it is, and he's standing there at the door, either on the porch, and just as soon as he wouldn't give me time to put the car in park for the doors to unlock, he's already got the door handle. And he's already got a whole list of things for Papa to do that evening. And just as soon as I pulled it out, he started, Papa. And it was the same day that Sister Kathy had got grumpy with him. And I told him, I said, Colin, please, just let me get in the house and at least get my work clothes off and change my clothes before we start into our adventures for the day. And I thought, but sometimes we just, those things come in on us. And they overwhelm us.
Yes,
And we
sir.
become, like I said, we just simply become grumpy. But I thought, is that the nature of God?
Come on.
I thought, should we just steal away? And and I realized, there's things that we that just overtake us sometimes. But I thought we need to make sure that we're doing what God wants us to do.
Yes.
Are we in the center of God's will? Are we where God has placed us? I thought some of us just simply need a good restoration. I thought, I work with a guy, and he likes old cars. And I've mentioned before, he trades several times, sometimes several times a week. But he'll trade multiple times a month. And I remember a couple summers ago, went down there and he had I believe it was a 34 Dodge Coupe. Beautiful car. Had it sitting there in his garage. And I walked in and he raised the hood up and had all this chrome and it shining. Looked in, the car was nice. And an old 34 Dodge Coupe. And it had vintage air on it. I mean, it was nice. And I said, man, I'd hold on to that one and keep it. I mean, that thing's got air conditioning on it. I'd keep that and cruise around in it. And he looked at me and he said, it's been so long since that car's been on the road. He said, I'd be afraid to drive it across town. And I said, are you serious? And he, yeah. And, he told me who had it and had it been restored. And it had sat so long. It looked good, but it was still useless.
Come on.
It would have needed another major overhaul. And then as I got to walking around and looking at it, I could see the little fault here and the little fault here. And the places where the restoration had begun to deteriorate.
Right.
And I thought that's what happens whenever we get restored, but we don't go back and keep on top of it.
Right.
And I thought, if we're going to stay where we need to be with God, I thought, Brother Bill, we've got to stay on top of it.
Yes.
I thought, I've like I said, I don't know why it's going this way, but I thought I have fixed several cars. And I thought my father gave me a truck one time, and an old 78 Chevrolet Ford drive, some of you probably remember it. And we lived over in the trailer park, and Brother Jim helped me, and I put floorboards in it, and rocker panels, cab corners, cab supports. I mean, I just completely overhauled that truck. And put a motor in it, transmission. I mean, I've still got a picture of it when it was in its nicer state on my desk. But David and Laura standing beside it, and they fixed the picture for me one day. And I thought the problem was, is I got it, and I began to use it as a truck. I'd restored it, and as I used it as a truck, I never kept a lot of good upkeep on it. And as old things are, we moved to where we're at, and I began to start cutting wood out of it. We got goats, and I started using it to haul hay in, and pulled through the gate post one night and slid it into the gate post, put a big dent in the bed. And once those things begin to happen, we begin to let them go.
Right.
And I thought, if we're not careful, that's what we do with our life.
That's right.
We'll allow one thing to happen. And you say, well, it's all dented up now. There ain't no need spending no time taking care of it. But what we need to do is go back
Right.
and take care of it. Not small. And I thought if we keep it and let it grow, and let it grow, and let it grow. The old truck, I parked it, gave it to my nephew, and then another nephew got it. I was up at his house a couple months ago, it was sitting there, and just about rotted back down again. And paint all flaked off, the tires flat, the seats all ripped up. And I looked at it and I thought, I put a lot of effort there. But once we quit using it, and it began to set, it began to deteriorate.
Right.
And I thought, whenever we allow God to reconstruct us and get us to where that we're a finished product, that He can begin to use us, I thought then we've got to keep going back.
Right.
Let Him refresh us and renew us and get us to where that we need to be. I thought we need to just cry out to Him and say, Lord, just simply make me new again.
Yeah.
Make this fresh to me. I thought,
most of us can remember whenever children were born. There's nothing like that excitement of being a new parent, having that new baby. And then those of us that have grandchildren, there's nothing quite like it. But I thought, and they never get old to us, but I thought just simply things of life. Like Sister Kathy said, sometimes they just, you get tired, you get aggravated, you get frustrated, things, and sometimes you just simply become grumpy to those that you love and those that you cherish. But I thought we need to go back and say, God, make me new again. Restore me.
Right.
Make me, and as David said, restore unto me the joy of thy salvation.
Right.
I thought when we lose the joy of our salvation, we've lost a lot.
Yes.
I thought we've got to have joy with our salvation. As they come against the song, I hope I've helped you tonight. I thought this is all I had. And as I began to search this week, and I just kept going back to this. Lord, wash me and make me clean. Whatever it is in your life that's keeping you from being clean, I'll take it to the Lord. I thought He can work it around. I thought there's things that can come up. Everybody deals with different things.
Yeah.
Something that might upset you might not even bother me. We went yesterday over to Sears and purchased a new cooking range, and it's gas. And when we got selected, somebody's got to crawl under the house, run a gas line. Guess who that somebody might be? The last time I was under my house, I found a big old long snake skin. And I am terrified of snakes. And I told that guy, he said, well, maybe the guy you buy your gas from will come. And I said, well, yeah, he'll come and run the gas line, but I'm going to pay for it. And so we got to talk about it. He said, well, I'm scared of snakes too. And I said, well, she's scared of spiders. And, Brother Steve, he's here. He's a good-sized fella. But you let a spider about that big get in front of him, he's going to go ballistic. Me and him was on my side going in the woods right after I first got it in the fall of the year. You know how the little spiders are. And he said, stop this thing and get the spiders off of it or I'm leaving. He was just terrified. Because there's different things in everybody's life that we have problems with. Mine's a snake. Sister Kathy's a spider. Somebody's might be a mouse. Somebody's a windy bagweed. Some might be a tater bug. I don't know what it is. But there are some things that just scare different people.
Absolutely.
But I thought it's the same way with the difficulties in life.
Right.
Something that you might have a difficulty with, I might not ever have a problem with that.
That's right.
But that's your problem. That's what's hanging you up.
That's right.
And I thought the same God that can take care of my difficulties can take care of your
Right.
difficulties.
That's right.
Right.
So all you've got to do is bring it to the altar and give it to God. As they get the song tonight, let's come to this altar. Let's pray.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.